Question 5a. Expand and simplify the brackets x plus 5 multiplied by x subtract 4. There are lots of different ways of expanding brackets, and depending on how you were taught will depend on what method you use. The same answer should come out at the end. I personally prefer to use a grid method for multiplying values like this in what looks to be a noughts and crosses style grid. 2 lines down and 2 lines across. We can put into these boxes the values in the brackets just to help us make sure that we've multiplied everything from the first bracket by everything in the second. So in this case I have x plus 5, so I've got x and a positive 5 multiplied by x, and subtract 4 is a negative 4. And it helps to write this down at this stage so that we make sure that we don't forget that subtract or negative. Now all we need to do is make sure that we've multiplied everything together. So first off, x multiplied by x will give us x squared. 5 multiplied by x is 5x. X multiplied by a negative 4 is negative 4x. And 5 multiplied by negative 4 is a negative 20. Now there's 2 more stages left to be actually solving this and simplifying it. First off, it's a good idea just to write down the 4 values that we found. So we have x squared, add 5x, subtract 4x, subtract 20. And that is fully expanded. However, to simplify this, we need to try to gather together everything which is the same. We only have one lot of x squared, that's nowhere else, so that's already in its simplest form. But here we have a plus 5x and a subtract 4x, and those two can be put together to simplify the expression. 5x take away 4x still leaves us with 1x. So for our simplified solution we add x. There's no need to put number 1 in front, and that would actually be a bad mathematical representation. Just write the letter x. At the end of our expression we have a subtract 20. There's no more numbers left on their own, so to give a final answer we have x squared, add x, subtract 20. In question 5b we're asked to solve the brackets x subtract 8 multiplied by x add 7 equals 0. Again, there are a few ways to solve this, one of which is to expand the brackets and use a quadratic formula, but this is a 1-mark question. It's expecting you to do this as simply as possible. Because we know that when you multiply 2 brackets together, to get an answer of 0, one of the brackets must be equal to 0, because then anything multiplied by 0 becomes 0. To make the first bracket 0, we know that x subtract 8 must be nothing. So what value must x have? If I add 8 onto both sides, x must be 8 to make this bracket nothing. 8 subtract 8. So our first answer would be that x equals 8, and that would give a solution of 0. But there are 2 brackets and 2 solutions. So we must also have a look at the possibility of making the second bracket, x add 7, equal to 0 as well. We subtract 7 from both sides, we'll be left with x. So 0 subtract 7 is negative 7, which gives us our second solution that x could equal negative 7. Both answers would be required for 1 mark.